And welcome back to the Dave LewAllen Podcast. We cover sports stories, newsmakers, and difference makers in our community and across the state of Michigan. And on this episode, entertainment as well, as we welcome Laurel Wright and Wes Lunsford. They are the Young Fables. We welcome them to the Dave LewAllen Podcast to talk about music, to talk about their return to Michigan, and what's on their plate these days as busy, talented musicians. Laurel, Wes, welcome, and thank you for the time.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. We're so excited to be here and excited to come back to Michigan.
Yeah, we love coming up there. It's amazing every time.
Well, and you've got multiple stops that you'll make in our state in the month of July. I mean, you've got Grand Haven and Kentwood and, of course, 20 Front Street in Lake Orion, which I want to talk with you about specifically, but Ann Arbor is a return visit as well. Audiences in our state seem to respond to your music, your storytelling. That's got to be gratifying.
Yeah, it feels really good. I mean, it's always scary going to a new place or even a returning place where you don't live and you're just hoping that people will show up and want to hear your stories and listen to your music. So we feel really grateful to be able to come back and have those experiences and share them with the people that we've met and continue to meet in those places.
So I would describe your music as, as contemporary country, but there's tradition there, but there's pop influences as well. Obviously, storytelling through your writing. I mean, how would you, in an elevator pitch, describe the Young Fables in terms of what you do on a daily basis musically?
I think our manager once said Americanda.
Okay.
And I kind of like that.
It's a little bit of everything. Like you said, I feel like you did a good job. It's a country with some pop in there. Like, our backgrounds are very different musically, so I feel like that's what makes the sound. Because, like, Laurel grew up listening to a lot of country music. I grew up listening to almost everything else, like a lot of jazz and rock and roll and stuff like that. And so when I fell in love with country, that's when we met almost. Yeah. And so it's like this melding of genres, which who knows what we should call it.
Well, whatever it is, it seems to be working. Now, we're speaking to you from your home in Nashville. And my understanding is that you two grew up in the same town in East Tennessee. Is that right? But when did you meet exactly, and how did you come together as partners musically and now also as life partners?
Yeah, we grew up in East Tennessee, about 2.5 hours from Nashville, a place called Maryville. But if you're from Maryville, you say Maryville.
Maryville, yeah.
And
you got it.
And we're 10 years apart, so we actually didn't meet until I was about 18 and Wes was 28, and we played together for a couple of years, and then after about 2 years of playing together, we started the Young Fables, and then yeah.
Yeah, we did it all backwards. We started playing together, and then we started dating.
Yeah, so. we did everything backwards.
Well, certainly the musical connection has worked, and the fact that you're there for each other, on a daily basis. Laurel, I know a little bit, about your story. I watched the documentary, The Fable of a Song as well, which is available, which tells your story, the two of you, and the process of writing a song, but what developed during the course of that as well. There was heartbreak and tragedy there, and hey, that's a part of life, right? And that's something that you're very upfront about with during your shows. You talk about mental health awareness. You're an advocate for it. That's become a very important part of your message and conversations, is it not?
Yeah, it's super important, and I say this a lot, but I feel like before my sister and my dad passed away, which is a big part of my story and my life, I got up on stage and I hoped that people thought I had a pretty singing voice or they liked my songs. And now I feel like my purpose is so much bigger than that. And I really enjoy using our platform for something so much bigger than just having a pretty voice or nice guitar playing or something like that. You know, we hope that people enjoy those things too, but mental health is not talked about enough. And I feel like a lot of people struggle with that every single day. I've struggled with it for many years, and you're right, it's very important to me, and I really love talking about it. And the documentary touches on grief, depression, anxiety. It also follows the songwriting process from very beginning to very end. Um, it's not an easy watch, but it's an important watch, and we're really proud of it.
Yeah.
And what was so cool about that is when we made the documentary, we sort of just made it by accident because how do you plan such a thing to happen? We were just planning to write or do a video on a song, right? But we did this tour we called the screenplay tour, where we like showed the video, the whole documentary, and played like a 30-minute show.
Mm-hmm.
And man, just to see the people who came up, like in every show, almost everyone in the audience came up and shared sort of a story at the merch table or after the show or whatever. And it's just like, dude, this is something everyone has.
Yeah. Well, and it's wonderful that you're sharing that with those that you meet and have that additional connection, you know, beyond the great music as well. So, you know, thumbs up to you both in that regard, because you're helping other people, and that's fantastic. All right, let's talk about your show, about coming back to 20 Front Street. I had Kevin Bessert on this podcast last year talking about booking artists like the Young Fables and how they try to care for the artists, you know, who perform on stage at 20 Front Street. It's a wonderful listening room in Lake Orion. And I mentioned to you before we started, we've seen you a couple times there. We'll be there on July 25th as well. We hope that room is filled, but maybe talk to me about the 20 Front Street experience, playing in a room like that that's so intimate and that you really do, in fact, connect with an audience.
Yeah, I mean, 20 Front Street is a very special room. We play many, many places all over the country, and that is one place that the first time we ever played it, I was like, I will never forget this place. I hope I can play here again someday. And it's been a part of our tour for the past couple of years, and we're so grateful to them. I mean, they really know how to take care of their artists, but not only that, they really like appreciate the music and they show up for their artists, and that really means a lot to us.
And usually, like when we have a special spot like that, you know, I try and make sure, like in the community, like people are lucky that they have that. Not every community has one of those. Like, it's special. Like, you know, even if people don't come to see us, they should go see shows there, no matter what. It's like I mean, the way they have it set up, it feels good in there. The sound is always incredible, which is hard to do in a small space sometimes.
Hard to find.
Yeah.
Good sound is hard to find.
It is, very special.
Yeah. Well, there are a few tickets left, and we want to encourage people to come out. Again, it's Friday, July 25th at 20 Front Street in Lake Orion. Fantastic listening room. It'll be a fantastic night of music and some personal stories as well, I know. But you're going to play Ann Arbor too, and you know, that's a return engagement for you as well as Grand Haven on the west side of the state, right? You've been there before too.
Yeah, we have. So we're returning to a few places, and we're so excited. We're driving to y'all, so it's going to be a fun road trip.
I feel like every time, like when we start to have these return trips, like 20 Front Street was one of the first places we played in Michigan, and then like Ann Arbor was like one of the second, which is amazing spot, and then Grand Haven, I think the first time was last year, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like going to see old friends, because a lot of times the people you see there, this is the only time you get to see them, so you get to sort of like get excited and hang out with, oh yeah, they're gonna be there.
Yeah,
it's cool.
All right, how about musical influences? Now, Laurel, I know you've been on stage from the time you were a very young child, but musical influences for you, and the same for you, Wes. I mean, who sparked your interest and love in music, and helped you want to pursue this passion?
I mean, Taylor Swift is the reason why I picked up a guitar.
Okay.
I love the Chicks. I listen to Britney Spears. I listen to Shania Twain, Patsy Cline, many different people like that. But I would say like country music, like listening to country radio is like my main thing. Yeah.
And mine is like I was saying before. I feel like I'm like Taylor Swift. I've had eras.
Yeah, eras.
And like when I heard the Beatles and Bob Dylan for the first time, that like made me knew I had to do something with music. When I heard David Gilmour from Pink Floyd for the first time, I knew I had to play guitar. And then when I heard George Benson for the first time, I knew like, oh, guitar can be something this good. And then when I was playing a show overseas, and someone sent me a video of Glenn Campbell. And it like I had never really listened to Glenn Campbell. I didn't know any of his songs. And he sang it was Galveston was the song. And it just like blew me away. The guitar playing, the singing, the song, everything. And that's when I knew I had to play country music.
Well, yeah, he was fantastic guitarist as well. Now, Wes, you're endorsed by Gretsch Guitars. You play,
Yes.
or you're an endorser of Gretsch Guitars, however that works. But you play, and what an incredible sound, and what you're able to do with that instrument is fantastic.
Thank you. I think like whenever I got that endorsement, to me it was like a match made in heaven because I've always loved their guitars anyways, and I played one anyways, and it was just like, to me it's my guitar, because when I like started listening to country, I've always like I said, my heroes always played these big guitars. I love Reverend Horton Heat and Chet Atkins and people like that, and they had these huge guitars. And when I started playing more country instead of jazz, it was hard for me to go to a small guitar. And Gretsch sort of has the sound that I'm looking for in the bodies that I like. So I love it.
Yeah. Well, and it sounds great too. Now, you guys write your own material and mostly focus on that. But in shows, at least the shows that I've seen at 20 Front Street, I mean, I Hear Crazy, or All of Me, or certainly Purple Rain. And Wes, what you do with the guitar, that's worth, coming out alone for that, in addition to all your other great music. It really is a great show, and a combination of so many different influences.
Well, we appreciate that. We know you hear a lot of music, so thank you.
Yeah,
so much.
and we like. I think playing covers and stuff. It's fun. It's fun for us too. So.
Yeah, I mean, we love to pay tribute to the people that have come before us. That's the reason why, a big reason why we're on stage to begin with.
Yeah.
And tell me about the most recent album that you have out now. You've got, as I understand it, 4 albums out over the years, and so I'm sure as artists you evolve, over time with your songwriting and performing. Tell me about this latest album, and will we hear some numbers from that certainly on this tour when you come back to Michigan?
Yeah, we're going to be playing songs off all 4 of our records, but definitely a lot from this album that we just released back last October. There's a little bit more of a pop sound to the record, but we do everything when we travel as a duo, so you'll just have to imagine the pop sound if you can't hear it.
I think like with this new record, what was cool is we did it a little differently, because usually, you write a bunch of songs, you pick your songs, and then you go in and record them in like a week or 2 weeks or
With
whatever.
one producer.
With one producer. This one, as we wrote songs, because we write a lot of songs, we would record that song. And sometimes we would pick whoever we thought would be a good producer for that song. And so it was cool to sort of do it in a different way and sort of as time went by. So I feel like that influenced the sound a lot too.
Yeah, because we had 3 producers on this record instead of 1 producer, and that made it really fun.
Yeah, and they did a great job of making it sound like very cohesive and things, because it could be not with 3 different cooks in the kitchen.
That's very true.
But you're right about life too, right? I mean, the ups and downs of life and relationships, and some of it is uplifting stuff, but there's some heavy stuff in your music as well. Again, through life experiences, and as artists, and songwriters, I'm sure that's critically important to you to tell those stories.
Yeah, it is important, and you sometimes maybe you feel like it's just your story and it's kind of a selfish reason to share it because it's just so important to you, but it's really not just, for instance, my story. A lot of people have that same story.
Sure.
I have a song that, on this last record that we wrote for my dad, but it's kind of about me waking up every day and looking at myself in the mirror and being like, oh my gosh, I become more and more like my dad every single day. And I think a lot of people have that experience. It was so personal to me at the time that we wrote it, but I think a lot of people have that.
Daddy's Girl you're talking about.
Well, I was talking about these days, but definitely Daddy's Girl too, though.
Yeah,
definitely Daddy's Girl.
That's great. That's great. So what?
I'm glad you remember the song.
Oh, I do. Yeah. Well, it was really the documentary that we talked about, The Fable of a Song. I mean, that was really the beginnings of that documentary, right? Was
Yeah.
coming up with writing something so personal as Daddy's Girl as a tribute to your father.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts in that documentary is we're sitting there in the room, and you sort of forget the camera's there. And the guy we're writing with, one of our friends, Dean Fields,
Yeah.
he's like, well, just tell me some real stories about you and your dad or whatever. So we're just like going through these stories. It's so cool.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Walmart.
Yeah.
He was like, well, maybe we can't put that in a song. I was like, yeah, I didn't think so.
And Fifth House on the Right, right?
Right. It's exactly right.
Yeah.
Go to that address.
Yeah. Get those specifics in there. But as you say, while there's specifics and it's your story, it's everybody's story. If you're a daddy's girl, you have that kind of relationship, with your father or a parent. I mean, yeah, it touches everybody.
Yeah, I've seen, big tough men tear up in that song because they have a little girl somewhere.
That's right.
Yeah, I always say if you are a daddy's girl or if you have a daddy's girl, you might be able to relate.
Yep, I've got a girl, so I'm a girl.
get it.
I'm a girl dad too, so I absolutely get it as well. So what's still to come for the Young Fables as we talk about your career and reflections? What else is out there for the two of you? And let me ask too about venues like 20 Front Street and Wes. You mentioned how important they are, that they exist in communities. Some communities have lost venues like that, and for artists, particularly independent artists, who travel the country to make sure their music is heard, those venues are incredibly important. But isn't it also harder in some ways today? I mean, to get a song on the radio, I mean, it doesn't happen a lot of cases for artists. The streaming and the revenue there and the difficulties of being compensated, appropriately. I mean, it's not an easy thing to chase, is it? This music career?
No, it's not. I think it's like the Wild West. I mean, it probably always has been,
Yeah.
because nobody really knows like what
They're doing.
Yeah. So we're all just like, I feel like as long as we're able to travel and play our music and write songs and stuff, that's success for me. Love that. And you just sort of have to find your own way. And the way we've done it is we've just tried to go out and do it. Like, it's grassroots. I feel like that still works, Hopefully someday we'll have a big song on the radio. But until then,
Yeah.
keep it grassroots, you know?
And we just signed a publishing deal with a company here in Nashville called BMG, and we're so grateful to be with that company. And that's kind of allowed us to write songs while we're here in town, and then whenever we go out on the road, we can tour. But when we come back home, we can write songs for ourselves and for other people. And it's kind of been like a new adventure for us. So
Yeah, it's been fun. I think since last July, we've written 200 songs.
Wow.
yeah.
Not all of them are great. No one should hear all of them.
Well, you only need one great one, or a few albums worth of great ones, right? And you continue to be on your way. But you guys really work at this, though, too. I mean, all the social media, that you're involved with. You've got Patreon, and people can support your work and your efforts that way. A big part of this is being out there, but it's also, again, continually trying to connect, with those that you touch, so that they stay kind of part of your community. And really, you're trying to build a community, I guess, right?
Totally. We're definitely trying to build a community. And I always say I don't feel like we have like the biggest community that there is, but we definitely probably have one of the strongest communities, and everybody that we've met along the way that have supported us it's been a true blessing, and it's just it's been great.
Well, we're looking very much forward to you coming back to our state later this month, and we'll be in the audience at 20 Front Street again to listen, to enjoy, and to applaud your talents, because they are immense. I thank you for this today. July 25th, Friday, 20 Front Street in Lake Orion. Some tickets still available. But in terms of connecting with you otherwise and all the shows, we mentioned that social media and that connection. What's the best way for someone maybe learning about you today? And your music's on YouTube, but how else is best for them to connect with you?
If they just want to go to theyoungfables.com, they can literally find anything they want from there.
All right, the music and the tour schedule and all the rest. Yeah, good, awesome. Enjoy your day today. Laurel, Wright, Wes Lunsford, the Young Fables, joining me on the Dave LewAllen Podcast. So appreciative of your time. Look forward to seeing you in our state in just a few weeks.
Can't wait.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Thank you so much. Laurel, Wes of the Young Fables joining us today on the Dave LewAllen Podcast. We thank them and look forward to seeing them soon at some venues here in the state of Michigan. Until next time, we thank you for watching and listening. Thanks to our producer-director, Josh Bowen, as well. Until next time, stay safe, be kind.